Hello, my little fish. Welcome back to Calypso's Cove, where the magic is our message. It is your mistress of magic, BlkAfroditee, here again with another pick a card. Tonight's pick a card theme is First Impressions. What about you stands out when you first meet people? What are people's current first impressions of you? What are you giving off energetically, emotionally? We're going to tap into that right now. So, if you have like a job interview coming up, you want to impress people, a business meeting, a networking opportunity coming up, you can know what you're giving off before you walk into a room and how to use it to your advantage. Okay, so hit us up on all of our socials that are in the description box below. Also, check out the Etsy shop for this beautiful channel. All the products are made with the intention of connecting you to your higher self, helping you on your spiritual journey, and also made with love through the energy of Mama Oshun. Okay, make sure you give this channel a big like, subscribe, tell your friends, share this. I would really appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get to your pile selection. All right, so for pile number 1, we are going to be picking from the Goddesses, Gods, and Guardians deck. Come on, you know the vibes. So for pile number 1, we have Oshun with Sweet Success. Goddess Oshun, matron in this house. We love her. Okay, so next we have Brigid. You are a healer, and if you just checked out the last video I posted, she made a huge appearance. So, giving honor to Goddess Brigid. Pile number 2. And now for pile number 3, a goddess that we don't get to see all the time, but we love her, is Lilith. Face your shadow. Okay, giving all the vibes, giving all the feels. All right, so divinate for yourself which goddess would represent you and people's first impressions of you, and what energy, what vibe you're giving off. Could potentially be more than one pile. So meditate, hone in, and I will see you at your selection. Hello, pile number 1. This is for those of you that were drawn to Oshun, Sweet Success. Now, let's get started with the very first attribute that you give off when you walk into a room. So, when you walk into the room, people automatically assume that you are innocent. Pile number 1. There's something about you that gives off sweet, demure, kind of coquettish type of vibe, giving off the energy of kind of like sweet Southern belle, Southern hospitality, beautiful bright baby eyes, glowing skin. You probably have a very, very kind of like softer voice, or even if you have like some bass to your voice, there's just something about you that comes off kind of shy, more reserved, but definitely very stunning. Like your energy stuns people, literally. You're quite gorgeous, very beautiful on the inside, and it radiates on the outside. People are also very taken back by the shape of your body. People are really into your curves, because I'm really drawn to her curves on this card. So something that you could really do to amp up your it girl, it boy status is just being able to accentuate your body a lot when you're making a first impression in a way that's like really aesthetically pleasing and also very tailored to your figure, not revealing too much, but just playing up your beautiful features. Also, like, you have a really naturally beautiful face. Everything is symmetrical, everything is well proportioned, and people really pick up on that when you first walk into a room. You also have really gorgeous hair, pile number one. So that's a first impression that people feel from you, that your hair is very beautiful, that you take really great care of it. I'm also getting like a scent. So you could have like a really great smelling leave-in conditioner, hair oil, shampoo, something like that that makes your hair smell amazing. So people are really scent oriented in general, but especially when it comes to you, pile number one, people are really, really triggered by your scent. It helps them remember you. You have a long lasting impression from how good you smell. Some of you guys may use scents with like amber, musk, something a little bit warmer on the skin. People also assume that you have a really, really warm personality as well as your warm scent. So you could be wearing like vanilla, something like that, something a little bit more, have a little bit more body to it. You definitely have the body. People love to look at it. It's very va va voom. It's giving. And then on top of that, you just seem like a really, really warm person. Somebody that people can easily talk to. And somebody who doesn't really have to go super hard for attention, but just naturally receives it. And that demure aspect of you is really, really great for manifesting because you can kind of easily get people to come and talk to you without you having to do too much. Pile number one. So that's really, really fantastic as a first impression. So let's go a little deeper into the cards and see what else people feel about you when you first walk in a room. Okay. So we have vision, psychic images, clairvoyance, seeing, and out of body travel from the Oracle of the Mermaids. Okay. So with this full moon here and this mermaid kind of like shadowing herself, I feel like people feel like there's definitely more to you than what meets the eye. I feel like sometimes people feel like you're a beautiful mirage or like you just kind of might have like a whole nother personality that you're hiding. The moon is our subconscious, so definitely people pick up that you might seem very polite, very sweet on the outside, but even on the first impression, people can already tell that there's way more than what meets the eye, so much more beneath the surface when it comes to you, pile number one. You definitely, I'm not trying to say that you have like a split personality or anything, but maybe people do assume that there's like another side for sure. And sometimes I think people are a little afraid of it. I think because you are so quiet and people can kind of see you observing, people also think that you know more than what you let on because you don't speak as much, pile number one. You're just kind of like, I peep this, I peep that, the silent observer. Somebody who stands out for sure. But like I said, you're kind of like in the cut, and that's that clairvoyance. Like you can peep anything in a room. And I think people, when they first meet you, for example, like if you were to go to a party, I think people observe you observing other people. Pile number one. So that's really a first impression. And I think maybe you're the type of person where people want to come up to you and ask your opinion of certain things because they want to hear what you have to say. They want to hear how you feel about X, Y, or Z to kind of tap further into this moon energy, like what's hidden, what's beneath the surface. Okay. And that's card 37. So if that number means anything to you, there's a message there. So next we have how your energy is when you walk in, like what's shining from your aura. So we have contemplation here, and we also have inner guidance. So we're going to start with contemplation. So like I said, there's something about you, pile number one, that is very, very observant. And I think that's great for business opportunities because I think people really love having a business partner or investing in someone who's very aware and actually like doing something with their awareness. So you're coming off contemplative when people are first meeting you. You're thinking, you're brewing, you're intuitive. So let's read what this mudra has to say. This is number 32. Integration, balance, and meditation. The focus is my mind and body rest in effortless contemplation. So this definitely makes me think about divine feminine energy, or just feminine energy. Yin energy is the energy that rests, is the energy that is still. So when you meet people, you're definitely coming off as very feminine, somebody who's really not doing too much. And like they said, it's effortless for you. You're a very effortless being, okay? So let's get into this next card, Inner Guidance, card number 24. So you're a very heart-centered person. People can tell that you're a very, very sweet person and that you really do things with a lot of integrity. So this says insight, self-compassion, and safety. I listen openly and honor the voice of my heart. So yeah, people definitely feel like there's something about you where you just have a good head on your shoulders. When they first meet you in person, they think that, okay, like this person is going to do right by themselves and is going to do right by others. You also seem like the type of person off of first glance who doesn't necessarily like follow the rules or listen to like what other people say. You're definitely your own trendsetter. You're going to listen to your own inner guidance. You're not going to just like follow the crowd, pay attention to what anybody else has to say. You're not the second in command, the third in command, like your main character energy. Okay. So this card is what element you're giving off, you know, like what element you feel like when you walk into a room. And you are the earth element. Okay, so that's that stillness that people feel. You're very earthy. Something about you is very sensual. You got Oshun, and Oshun's energy is very connected to the earth, to the sensuality of the land, to the fertility cycles of nature. So there's something that's very, and then the earth is very knowing, right? The earth is very wise. Okay, so there's something about you that comes off very rooted, very stable, very wise, very grounded, very knowing, pile number one. So this is the root chakra, and you have qualities when you first walk into a room, excuse me, of being very trustworthy, being very stable, kind of being able to support yourself as well as support others. That kind of goes into that inner guidance card, as well as being very organized, you know, on your kind of like Virgo, Capricorn bag, you know, even Taurus when they want to, being very, very organized, calculated, being very aware of what's going on. You could potentially have a Virgo or a Capricorn Mercury, or a Virgo or a Capricorn Mars. Let me know. You could also have a Capricorn midheaven or a Virgo midheaven, or you could be a Virgo, Capricorn, or even Taurus rising. All right, so these are some more descriptions of you from the original Rider-Waite Tarot deck, just to see like what you're giving, you know, what's the tea. So we have the Three of Swords here. So first and foremost, people think that you are a heartbreaker, pile number one. There's something about you that leaves the people begging, screaming, crying, pleading for more. People just instantly feel that way about you. I think because they put you on a pedestal as soon as you walk into the space. You are seen as above and beyond anybody's expectations of beauty standards because you're real. You're not airbrush, you're not fake, you're not in some magazine. You're a real flesh and blood person right then and there, no filter, and you're giving off the type of beauty that you give off, the type of grace, ease, class. And I really do feel like people are like, woo, when they see you, like, she's unobtainable. Pile number one is completely unobtainable. Oh my goodness. And I feel like it's something that people also feel like maybe you've gone through as well. I'm feeling like that a little bit because of the way that you come off. Sometimes maybe you can come off a little melancholy with that contemplation. And maybe just people kind of sense that you've been through certain things when it comes to matters of the heart. You've learned your lessons. You've been through the ups and downs. And, you know, you're not anybody's punk, but at the same time, they have to be worthy of your attention too, because you are a heartbreaker, plain and simple. That's people's first impression of you. Okay, so we have the Five of Pentacles here, And I think that's really interesting. I think you give off the energy, pile number one, of you would help anybody and you would also make it through anything, especially like with the inner guidance card and the contemplation, the vision, the earth chakra, or you just having earth element as your energy. There's things about you that's very, very wise and extremely knowing. So I feel like when people see you, they feel like you would give to people. You're a very giving person, a very charitable person off top. So you could really use that to your advantage if you're looking to network in certain fields like human services or healthcare. It's really, really beneficial for people to know that you also have a story too, and that you care and want to help, that you have it in you to know what it's like maybe to go through some hard times and to pull yourself back up. You also help out other people, you don't leave anybody behind. That's a first impression that people have of you. And you're gonna rough it out if you need to. You're not gonna beg anybody for help. You're not gonna go into that church, because at the end of the day you got yourself. And people really feel that way about you. They feel like you're naturally independent and you're naturally kind of just like gonna take care of you no matter how rough the situation is, and you're gonna make it through. So lastly, for the Rider-Waite, we have the Knight of Cups. Okay, so people feel like you carry your heart on your sleeve when they first meet you, which could be great because you might not all the way be like that, especially with your contemplation card here. There's something about you that's very aware and you don't play, especially when like you have the Three of Swords. That's still knowledge. So it's like you've been through enough in your life where you're always walking kind of like with an open heart. You're a very, very loving, kind, sweet person. But at the end of the day, you don't just wear your heart on your sleeve. But it takes certain people to recognize that. But when you first walk into a room, people think it's all sunshine and rainbows with you, and you're just going to hand your cup to anybody. And it's like you're like, no, I know you feel that way about me, but let me make it clear for you. You have to be worthy of me to bring a cup to you. I love that. Okay. And lastly, from the African Goddess Rising Oracle deck, we have Nunde with Truth. Okay, so there's more red here. This is in greenery and even a little river. So this is definitely giving earth energy, definitely giving Oshun. Okay, so you have a very grounded energy, the red energy of the root chakra here. You live in your truth, you speak truth, and I feel like when people see you, they feel like they just know that you're just the embodiment of your truth when you walk into the space. You're being true to yourself. You don't switch for anybody, you're not switching for anyone. They might look at your clothes, your outfit, your body, etc. But they know at the end of the day, you dress like that for you. You're going to do it regardless, and everybody else is just benefiting from you being yourself. Like she's looking at her reflection, right? It's you versus you, and I think people know that when you first walk into a room. So, pile number one. This will conclude your reading on what are people's first impressions of you and how you could use it to your benefit. I really hope you enjoyed. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. I would really love to hear from you so much. Or give this a big thumbs up. Ancestors, spirits, and spirit guides of those drawn to pile number one, thank you for sharing your energy with me. Namaste. And until we meet again, beloveds. Bye. Hello, pile number two. This is for those of you who are drawn to Goddess Brigid. You are a healer. Okay, so the first impression of you is very, very earthy. People feel like you kind of give off cottage core. Let me know. Like in the workplace, you might look very, very professional, but then there's like this part of you that's like what people would consider a hippie, a herbalist, somebody who always has like a natural remedy in their bag. So people kind of consider you like a naturist or a naturalist, excuse me, a hippie, a tree hugger. I hope these things don't offend anybody when I'm saying them. These are just kind of more like stereotypes that people feel. People think that you denounce wealth, pile number two, which I feel like is very beyond the truth. Like, and for some of you, it might be true. For some of you, you might be like, oh, I don't really care about money. All I care about is like making the world a better place. And people are like, oh, like when they think of pile number two, they think about kind of like that earth loving, kind of like earth mama hippie vibe, like I already said. A lot of people misread you all the time. Pile number two. So your first impression is very misleading. People have no idea what you're really like and what you are really about. I think people think that even on top of you being like earthy and kind of like a tree hugger, there's also something about you that people think that you're kind of giving off maybe like you think you're better than other people, you're above other people, and that is so far from the truth. But Goddess Brigid is like one of the strongest goddesses in their pantheon, and you just come off very, very strong. Like you have a very strong personality, almost rebellious. Like you're not going to just let somebody make a comment that you consider coming from a place of not knowing, like a place of ignorance that could hurt other people, and you're just not going to let that slide. You're going to say something. Or if like a situation is going on that you don't feel like is right, like you're going to speak on it. You're one of those people, like whether it's at school or if you're in the workplace or if you're around your own family or friends. And I feel like that's how you kind of become like the healer, because people know you as like not only the herbalist and the tree hugger, but also the person who's gonna like stand up for social injustice and like stand up for people's rights. And that's people's like base level first impression of you. And even though you have like so much more to offer to people, that's like kind of what they first see. And I feel like sometimes that kind of makes making connections for you a little difficult. But I know that once you make connections, people are able to see like how much more you have to offer. But this is really just based off of first impression. So let's get into some cards and let's figure it out. I think also people think from your from first meeting you that you are a witch. They feel like you do magic, you perform magic. There's something about you where it's like, okay, like pile number two might be into witchcraft or something, and that's like known about you. And I feel like sometimes it's not really like the most positive, because people, again, like I feel like you're around a lot of people who don't understand, and that's why you're like the healer, because you feel like you have to assert these things a little bit when people are first meeting you, because people want to like put you in a category that you feel like you don't belong in. Pile number two. So let's get some more messages and see what people's first impressions of you are, like a little deeper. Okay, so we have from the Mermaid Oracle, endurance, keep going. Card number 43. I think this is really beautiful because there's such a strength from Goddess Brigid. She's such a strong archetype of femininity, but yet at the same time there's such a softness here. And I definitely feel like, with that kind of like dichotomy of people thinking you're a tree hugger but you're also like a fighter for injustice, I feel like that's the beauty of the goddess that represents you, and the beauty that's inside of yourself, because it's like you keep going. Pile number two, people peep that from you automatically. Like you do not back down from a challenge. You don't allow yourself to be pushed to the side. You don't allow yourself to be stepped on, to be overlooked, to be treated any type of way. And this is people's first impression of you. And a lot of the time people don't respond well to feminine energy, whether woman or man, in their power. Sometimes they don't want to see it. So with you, you keep going, you have endurance. And with like it being in water, right? Like you're going with the flow and you keep going with the flow, even if the current has some extra splash to it. Like even if people don't understand, you really allow yourself to just be in that space of, I'm going to keep doing me, And people peep that from you automatically. Pile number 2. In fact, they feel like you're very real. They feel like you're one of the realest people in the room, especially even when they first meet you. There's something about you because of you being a little bit more outspoken and being like more emotionally aware, being very emotionally mature. These are things that people first peep about you. Like they're like, yeah, like pile number 2 like is really, I'm really like them. They're very authentic people. They work hard. You know, I know that pile number 2 is going to get to the top. Like people feel that way about you instantly. Okay, so this is the chakra that's the strongest when people meet you, pile number 2. And you got the heart chakra, anahata, the heart center, air element. So you seem very loving, very compassionate, very empathetic, and you display a lot of forgiveness when people first meet you. So this is like really channeling to me like you got a heart, pile number 2. Like you really have a big heart, you got heart. Like you're not afraid to stand up, like I said. Like you have the heart inside of you, like heart of a lioness, heart of, you know, a traveler, a warrior, a healer, a goddess. Like there's just something about you, like you really have it inside of you. And I know that when you're like first meeting people, it, yeah, they can be rubbed the wrong way from how compassionate you are and how your compassion flows out, because like yes, you are going to like speak what you feel, you are going to do that, but at the end of the day, like people know that it's really coming from your heart, and you're like a very heart-centered individual. Okay, so this is the element that you vibrate, like when people meet you, what you're giving off, right? So you actually got the water element, which is the sacral chakra. So people kind of still peep you as very flowing, very adaptive, a fluid person, a receptive person. And at the end of the day, somebody who's still really, really cool. Okay, so there's things about you where it's like, yeah, she's earthy, she's like hip, she knows what she's talking about, she's very worldly, understanding into today's hot topics. Like, you know, people feel like you're very empathetic and really care about the things that you're talking about, deeply care about other people, care about the things that you're doing, and you're quite like receptive to other people's point of views. You're quite receptive and understanding and like really, really adaptable in situations. And I think that's great for a first impression, because that's something you can really lean on to in networking. Like the fact that you're adaptable and people can just easily see that. So that's something that you can really play up when you first meet people. Pile number 2. Okay, this here. Right there, is that okay? Okay. So we have some cards from the original Rider-Waite Tarot deck to go further into, you know, how people view you. So you have the Empress here, okay? So you're giving unbothered queen. You're giving like, I'm showered, I'm shaved, I'm luxurious and beautiful perfume at the same time. So like, you know, there's a lot inside of you. Pile number 2. There's just like a lot that you have to offer as well. The Empress is full of things to give her subjects, full of things to give the Emperor, full of things to give her children. She's pregnant. You know, you're just filled with opportunity. I think people really feel that way about you as well. And you're very, very creative. So these are things that people peep about you off top. Excuse me. Got the hiccups or something. Okay. So next we have the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so you are people feel when they first meet you that you are very stingy with your energy, pile number 2. Like you really do not give your energy out to just anybody. You like weigh your options really, really well for like how much energy do you give to certain people. And especially you showing up as the Empress, I feel like people kind of view you that way. They kind of view you as somebody where it's like ooh, is pile number 2 going to pay attention to me today? Or is pile number 2 not going to pay attention to me today? So it's like you have sway over people. That's a first impression that you have. Sway, influence, you're a very influential person. Yeah, you really use your voice to the fullest extent, pile number 2. And just people just wanting to gain favor from you and have you like them. They're like, I want to be liked by pile number 2. And people see that off top. Like, people see that people want to pay attention to you and to have you, like, kind of like give them energy. You know what I'm saying? But you also give off the impression of, I don't give my energy to just anybody. And then lastly, we have the 7 of Cups, okay? So people feel like when they first meet you that you got options. Pile number 2, like options on partner, job, money, clothes, traveling. Like you have a lot of options. You can do whatever you prefer, whenever you like. And I think people are very scared of that too. They're a little intimidated, okay? By how much you can do, by how much you know, by how much you give, and how much you can receive, right? With you being Brigid, it's like you're a really powerful energy. And I think people are just like, wow, like pile number 2 can create anything, everything, etc. Okay. And lastly, from the African Goddess Rising Oracle deck, we have Gang Sarah with Resistance. Okay, so ooh, look at the tree and everything. What did I say? There's something about you that's really connected to nature. Okay, and I said that you were a little rebellious, and we have resistance here. So I feel like this card just kind of culminates everything that I said. Okay, you might be a little resistant to change, a little resistant to meeting new people, but at the end of the day, I feel like people just really pick up the kind of more earth goddess aspect that you give out, very knowing and intuitive. I mean, look at this card. Look how she's wrapped into it, and basically you have Saturn behind her and Jupiter and the moon. And I just feel like those are really apropos. You're abundant and knowledgeable, wise, hardworking, intuitive, knowing. And those are some first impressions that people pick up from you, pile number 2. And I think that's really beautiful. So this will conclude your reading as to how people feel about you when they first see you, their first impression, and how you could potentially use it to your advantage. Let me know if it resonated for you by giving this video a thumbs up or leaving me a comment in the comment section below. I would love to read them. Okay. Ancestors, spirits, and spirit guides of those drawn to pile number 2, thank you for sharing your energy with me. Namaste, and until we meet again, bye. Hello, pile number 3. This is for those of you who were drawn to Goddess Lilith. First of all, the first impression of you is absolutely sensuously scrumptious. Okay, there's something about you that is so magnetic, hot, like molten lava. It's giving like one of those brownie lava cakes with ice cream and it just melting on top from the lava cake being hot with a hot fudge sundae. That's I know that that was very descriptive, but like that's you, pile number 3. You're quite velvety, delicious, sensuous energy. Okay, when people first see you and they get the first impression of you, they're almost scared, pile number 3. They're like looking at you up and down because there's something about you that's like femme fatale, dark sensuality, dark energy, very sexy, very demure, just really a darker kind of goddess vibe. They think that you're a badass. You're giving badass. People like kind of feel like you might be like one of those stereotypical girls who like has the motorcycle and drinks beer and will like slap you in the face if you wrong them, and like goes on a motorcycle in heels on the back and like wears a helmet and like take the helmet off and your hair is perfect and you like flip it and like have on a cute little leather jacket with a black dress. It's like um definitely you're some people's fantasy when they first meet you. They cannot help but start fantasizing. Really giving like some Neptunian energy here. There's just something about you that's like very naturally seductive as well. Like you're easily able to kind of like swoop people in, make people feel very connected to your energy and to your vibe, make people want to like pay attention to you as well. So you definitely have a very, very magnetic first impression. You could really kind of persuade people to do anything that you wanted if you kind of tapped into it further. I also feel like for some of you, this energy is very hidden. So this is something that like people feel but don't talk about. Like you could come off as like very shy, good girl, always listened, always was whatever. For some of you, just very, very by the book. And then there's like this hidden energy inside of you that's like Lilith, this sexy, sensuous badass. And, you know, people really feel that when they first meet you. Or for some of you, you've always been giving this sensual badass, and you've always been a little rebellious and a little bit on the darker side when it comes to life, living wild, living dangerous, born to be free, liking to feel the rush. And I just feel like people feel that way about you. Like people don't really want to like have a normal experience when they first meet you because they're looking for the extraordinary, they're looking for the danger and for like the revenge and the love and the jealousy. Like they kind of just feel like when they get around you they want the full experience. And I just saw 333, so I feel like that's really confirmation. You know, they want that full vibe from you. They want the non-traditional, they want to experience more. You know, they want the more. And that's something that your aura really gives when people first meet you, pile number three. So that's like really, really fun. There's something about you that's like really badass too, but at the same time, like really chill, like you're not doing too much. And I really appreciate that. All right, so let's get further into your energy and see what people feel about you, what people think about you when they first meet you, your first impression. Oops. Okay, so they have telepathy, nonverbal communication, energetic pulses, and mind reading from the Oracle of the Mermaids. So, honey, people feel like when they first meet you that you're like reading their mind. They feel like they can't do anything, they can't have a thought, especially like inappropriate thoughts. Like they're like nervous, like that you can like see right through them. That's the first impression. Like your eyes cut like lasers, like x-ray vision. Like anybody, everybody is kind of like, oh shoot, like pound number three, I can't get anything past pound number three. They're gonna know everything that I'm doing, everything that I'm thinking. Like I might as well bow down to pound number three. I might as well just know that pound number three has all control over my life, limbs, and spirit, because I literally can't do anything without you knowing. And I think that's really powerful. And people feel this way when they first meet you. This isn't even like, you know, a last impression or like I've known you for years and now I know that you can like read my mind. It's like instantly, as soon as you give them that look, they know to straighten up. They know to like tighten it up, get it together, because you're like a real goddess that does not play, and you can see through any BS. You can cut right through it. Almost like Archangel Michael, but an archaea, because we're feminine. We're the divine feminine. Duh. Okay. So that's something that you can really use to your advantage, because people feel like their poker face doesn't work on you, pile number three. So you can use that in business meetings and networking, like when you're trying to do specific things or just get things done in general. Like if you like are trying to hire a contractor or just trying to like do something where you have to like negotiate with somebody, you literally can use your eyes as like secret weapons, and then people will be like, oh shoot, like pile number three knows I'm bullshitting, like let me make her a better offer. Okay, so we have some energy here for what is like coming off of you energetically from your aura when people first meet you. We have 2 cards for you because you're just too much to handle, pile number 3. Okay, so first we have card 20 with Radiant Light. So you seem very clear-minded, like you have a lot of clarity around you. You can see that, card 20. You have a lot of personal power, a lot of integrity, like a very, very strong personality. But at the same time, like I said, very demure and like, I'm just here. What the fuck are you looking at? Okay, I love that. And you seem like you have high self-esteem. And the focus is my inner light is vibrant, luminous, and alive. So, like I said, people don't want to have the normal experience around you. Pile number 3. They really do want to feel alive. They want to feel vibrant. They want to feel extroverted and just like they're going crazy. Like everything is like moving. And, you know, it's almost like being on LSD, but it's somebody's aura. That's how you make people feel off first impression. I hope that wasn't too much. It's just the truth. Okay, and next we have Brilliance, heart chakra, okay? So you're a heart-centered person with hella confidence. We love that, okay? So you have an inner light that shines very bright. You got radiant light and now it has inner light here. So you are brilliant, okay? You're focused and you have radiance. This is what this says, radiance. So you're like very radiant. You're very attractive. Okay, you just shine. You outshine a lot of people in the room, okay? Either they shine as bright as you and they can stand beside you, or you're like blinding them out with how bright your energy is and how much you shine. Okay, so this says, I embrace the radiant brilliance of my loving heart. So you're like really one of those like carefree, loving people who just has like a really high frequency and you just know what to do with it, which is just like remain loving, remain radiant, you know, glow, shine. That's you. Keep being like this fun loving, open person because that's really where you shine the most. So next we have what element you show up as when people first meet you. We have the fire element, which really matches your vibration so well because like you're straight fire, pile number 3. So you have a very strong solar plexus chakra, as we already know. And you are like hot, okay? You transform a room. People feel like when they first meet you, they want to change for you. You're a really intense person, pile number 3. So when people first meet you, they feel like, oh my God, like they can't breathe, they can't think. Like I said, your eyes are just so magnetic. You could be a Scorpio, let me know. You could have Scorpio energy, you could have Aquarius energy, Cap energy, Sag energy, just something that's like very strong, concentrated, even Leo potentially with some Scorpio backing it. Let me know if you have any of those signs blessing your big 3 or just your chart in general. Yeah, you're a very bright and energetic person. So it's like you just got that flame. You have that light to you. You know, it's like a moth to a flame when it comes to people. Like they're drawn to you, pile number 3. Their first impression is like, oh my God. Like pile number 3 is like crazy addictive aura. Like I gotta be around pile number 3. I don't know what I can do to stay around pile number 3, but I will jump through hoops just to do it. You kind of have like a spellcaster energy, like you enchant people. You could definitely use that to your advantage when you first meet people. I'm not saying take advantage of people, but I'm just saying, hey, if you want something, you can easily get it. Pile number 3, but use the golden laws of nature. Don't harm, don't hurt, you know, give unto others as what you would want to receive type thing. You know, that's what we do here, but hey, get yours, pile number 3. Get yours because you are heat, you are flame. People would pay to watch you be you, pile number 3, okay? Just off first impression, when they get around you, they want to stay around you. Like, I'm getting that song where it's like, seriously, like, have you seen my silhouette? Jeesh, it's giving main character energy. Okay, so that's definitely you. So we have just a few more cards to tap in further as to people's first impressions. So first, So first we have the Page of Wands, which is perfect for all the fire that you got, the shining light and that beautiful solar plexus energy. People just peep off top that you're like a very passionate person. Like you have that va va voom, that je ne sais quoi about you that's just like, oh, like pile number 3, you know, they just got the light, they have the passion, you laugh loud, you dress incredible, you know, there's just something about you off top where people are like, dang, like I keep making this motion like I'm taken back because pile number 3 is just so magnetic, like I'm obsessed. So then we also have the King of Swords. So you have a really, really sharp tongue. Pile number 3, you really know how to put somebody in their place, and you might do that off top. If somebody violates your boundaries, you don't hesitate to make it clear that they were violated, and people peep that from you automatically. You know, you're really giving sometimes when you need to, because there's a side of you, of course, that's very radiant, bubbly, bright, intense, but there's also a side of you that can be intensely stern, you know, particular. You might have a little case of OCD. You know, you like your stuff a certain way. You like people to treat you a certain way. You also, I feel in my heart, you love for the people that you love to be treated a certain way, like your friends, your family, your lovers. It's like you want everybody to be treated well, and you go out your way to not let like work staff, or like if you go to a restaurant, wait staff, or you know, clothing managers to like disrespect you. Like you really are like, hey, like excuse me, I need help with this, and I said I need help with this, so please. And I know that that can come off as like a lot for other people, but the way that you assert yourself is like, it makes people really want to respect you even further. Definitely. And if anybody tries it, they are not gonna win. That's for sure. Okay, and lastly, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So you are quite abundant as a first impression. People feel like you really have it together. So you definitely could be a Capricorn, pile number 3, because people really do feel like you have your money on lock. Like you and your money are together, sweetie. Like you could afford to pay for the whole bar. You work very, very hard. You don't play about a coin. You might complain about work all day, but at the end of the day, you're going to get the work done. And that's a first impression of you, okay? And then lastly, oh yeah, and just like you kind of give off like rich housewife too. Like, oh yeah, I just like, you know, I'm an influencer, or, you know, whatever. Like, this is what I do. And people are just like, how does pile number, yeah, that's basically what it is. People are like, how does pile number 3 make all this money? And you're like, magic. Hello? You know, I'm a goddess. I manifest it. I bring it to the tangible from my spirit. What do you mean? It's fun. All right, and lastly, from the African Goddess Rising Oracle deck, we have Tanit or Tanit with pleasure, okay? So it is a pleasure to meet you, and people feel like you just love to have fun. People feel like you love to feel good. You're also giving like deep sensuality, okay? With all this purple and gold, you're definitely giving royalty. Definitely. And this is just something that people feel from you innately. Like they just want to be around you. They feel like you're a pleasure. It's pleasure in your life. You know how to make your life pleasurable off top, people feel like as well. Okay, so this will conclude your reading as to your first impressions that you give off and how you can use them to your advantage. I really hope that this reading resonated with you. Let me know with a big thumbs up or a comment in the comment section below. Okay? Ancestors, spirits, and spirit guides of those drawn to pile number 3, I want to say thank you for sharing your energy with me. Namaste. And until we meet again, beloveds,